sau đây là giây phút quan trọng. Mọi người đang nôn nao chờ đón người đã hy sinh tuổi trẻ, thời gian, tài chánh để cứu đồng bào tị nạn trong 17 trại tị nạn Đông Nam Á và mở cái lớp huấn luyện cho người Việt Nam định cư. Ngài đã lãnh trọng nhiệm thủ tướng từ năm 1991 đến nay để giải thể chế độ Cộng sản Việt Nam. Chúng tôi trân trọng giới thiệu Tổng thống ngài Đào Minh Quân.
This is an important moment that everyone is waiting for. It is our honor to introduce the person who has sacrificed his youth, time, and money to support the Vietnamese refugees in 17 refugee camps, who has continued to fight peacefully to dissolve the satanic communists, and who has been assuming the role of Prime Minister of PNGVN since 1991. We would like to introduce President Đào Minh Quân. A round of applause, please.
Thank you. Please sit down.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our presidential inauguration. But sorry, I have to use my own languages. And my assistant will translate into English. Thank you for understanding. Well, the people give me a speech that I already speak at the Atlanta. So briefly, kính thưa quốc dân, đồng bào Việt Nam, tôi rất trân trọng đứng ra nhận trọng nhiệm Tổng thống của nền đệ tam Việt Nam Cộng Hòa. Tổng thống Donald Trump có nói trong ngày 25 tháng 9 vừa qua tại diễn đàn Liên Hiệp Quốc, ông nói rằng thực sự chủ nghĩa xã hội và chủ nghĩa cộng sản đã được thử nghiệm trên khắp thế giới, nhưng chúng chỉ đem lại đau khổ, tham ô và suy đồi. Tham vọng bá quyền của chúng dẫn đến bành trướng, xâm lăng và đàn áp. Vậy tất cả các quốc gia trên khắp thế giới cần phải chống lại chủ nghĩa xã hội, vì nó mang lại cảnh bần cùng, khốn khổ cho tất cả mọi người. Nguyên văn như sau: Virtually everywhere, socialism or communism has been tried, it has produced suffering, corruption or decay. Socialism, thirst of power, leads to expansion, incursion, and oppression. All nations of the world should resist socialism and the misery that it brings to everyone. Kính thưa đồng bào, quý vị và các bạn, Việt Nam chúng ta có một lịch sử anh hùng trải qua hơn 4.000 năm dựng nước và giữ nước. Tuy vận nước có lúc thăng trầm, nhưng trung liệt hiền thần thời nào cũng có. Và họ mãi mãi vẫn là niềm tự hào và ngưỡng vọng của các thế hệ mai sau. Vào thời kỳ chống thực dân Pháp, vì cha ông của chúng ta đã sơ suất để cho Tàu Cộng lừa gạt, dùng tên gián điệp Hồ Chí Minh giả làm người Việt, lập ra Đảng Cộng sản Việt Nam để đem tà thuyết và chủ nghĩa cộng sản vô thần vào tàn phá nước ta, gây ra biết bao tang thương thống khổ, tạo ra một thời kỳ đen tối đớn đau nghiệt ngã nhất trong lịch sử của dân tộc. Những kinh nghiệm đắng cay và đổ vỡ đã trải qua dạy cho chúng ta, dạy cho mỗi con người Việt Nam cũng như toàn nhân loại một bài học sâu sắc để phải cẩn trọng hơn, nghiêm túc hơn trong việc chọn lựa nhân sinh quan cho chính mình và đất nước. Chủ nghĩa cộng sản chỉ là bá đạo. Chúng tuyên truyền và sử dụng tà thuyết vô thần, phi nhân làm cốt lõi, tạo ra một tập đoàn lưu manh, ác độc, xảo quyệt, lừa mỹ, tinh vi, tích tụ những xấu xa, biên dị, độc hại và bại hoại nhất trong lịch sử loài người. Không tội ác nào mà chúng không dám làm. Đó là bản chất của cộng sản, cần phải bị tiêu diệt. Quốc gia hưng vong, thất phu hữu trách. Chúng tôi chỉ đưa ra lý do tại sao chúng tôi đứng ra nhận trọng nhiệm tổng thống. Thật sự nước Việt Nam chúng ta có rất nhiều anh hùng hào kiệt và nhiều nhân tài hơn chúng tôi rất nhiều. Nhưng chúng tôi chấp nhận trọng nhiệm thủ tướng vì oan hồn của hàng triệu chiến sĩ và đồng bào Việt Nam đã chết tức tưởi tại Biển Đông, nơi rừng sâu núi xa, trong các lao tù âm u của Cộng sản Việt Nam. Tôi chấp nhận trọng nhiệm tổng thống trước vong linh liệt sĩ, các vị anh hùng vô danh, trước bài vị của các tướng lãnh quân lực Việt Nam Cộng Hòa, để chứng minh chiến sĩ quốc gia luôn có tấm lòng son sắt, trung kiên với tổ quốc, hết lòng vì nước hy sinh, vì dân chiến đấu. Để chứng minh quân lực Việt Nam Cộng Hòa luôn có tổ quốc, danh dự và trách nhiệm. Cho dù Việt Nam Cộng Hòa bị chôn vùi nhưng chưa chết, quân lực Việt Nam Cộng Hòa không hề đầu hàng Cộng sản. Mà đã trở thành bất tử, vẫn sống mãi trong sự yêu thương của đồng bào, trong tim óc, trong huyết mạch của các thế hệ Việt Nam. Tôi chấp nhận trọng nhiệm tổng thống Việt Nam Cộng Hòa ngay trên đất nước đệ nhất cường quốc Hoa Kỳ, để chứng minh Hoa Kỳ và các nước tự do không bỏ rơi, không phản bội chúng ta. Tôi chấp nhận trọng nhiệm tổng thống để hồi phục danh dự và lòng ái quốc của đồng bào, để cùng nhau xây dựng lại một nước Việt Nam kiêu hùng, có đạo đức, kỷ cương theo truyền thống anh dũng bất khuất của tổ tiên, của cha ông nòi giống hùng Việt, để người dân có chủ quyền, được vinh dự là công dân của một nước Việt Nam Cộng Hòa. Không phải là nô lệ cho Cộng sản, không còn bị cầm tù ngay trên chính quê hương của mình, để mai hậu con cháu được hãnh diện sánh vai cùng cộng đồng nhân loại. Tôi chấp nhận trọng nhiệm tổng thống để đặt mình trong tư thế sẵn sàng tuân hành các mệnh lệnh chính đáng của toàn dân, đứng ra giải quyết những vấn đề trọng đại gây tai ương kiếp nạn cho sơn hà xã tắc, ảnh hưởng đến an nguy của bá tánh và quyền lợi tối thượng của dân tộc Việt Nam. Trước hiểm họa đất nước bị xâm lăng, ông trời là thượng thiên, mà toàn dân, những người dân là ông trời ở dưới đất, gọi là thiên hạ. Tuy từng người trong chúng ta chỉ là hạt cát, nhưng hàng triệu triệu hạt cát sẽ bao bọc được đại dương. Trong thời khắc linh thiêng này, chúng ta, những con dân Việt Nam chân chính với niềm tin bất diệt, có ý chí mạnh mẽ vô song, với khát vọng nhìn thấy nhân dân thoát cảnh lầm than, đất nước thanh bình, mọi người cũng được sống trong thanh bình, tâm linh hướng thượng, xã hội công bằng, con người bình đẳng, phải gắn bó với nhau, hậu thuẫn cho chính phủ quốc gia Việt Nam lâm thời, đệ tam Việt Nam Cộng Hòa, để sẵn sàng đứng lên diệt tiệt chủ nghĩa cộng sản, đem yêu thương, danh dự và tương lai huy hoàng tươi sáng cho Việt Nam và các thế hệ con cháu của chúng ta. Với tư cách là tổng thống của đệ tam Việt Nam Cộng Hòa, chúng tôi xác định việc cái gọi là Cộng sản Việt Nam cho phép Trung Cộng khai thác dầu khí tại Biển Đông là hoàn toàn trái pháp luật theo công pháp quốc tế. Và chúng tôi cũng khẳng định rằng tất cả những hợp đồng giao kèo ký kết tại Biển Đông, tại Việt Nam mà Cộng sản Việt Nam ký với tất cả các công ty ngoại quốc đều vô giá trị. Giai đoạn kế tiếp, chính phủ quốc gia Việt Nam lâm thời sẽ thiết lập quan hệ với các quốc gia đồng minh, nhất là Liên hiệp các nước Âu Châu và Đông Nam Á. Một khi chính phủ quốc gia Việt Nam lâm thời do chúng tôi lãnh đạo có được sự công nhận chính thức của chính phủ Hoa Kỳ, tôi nghĩ rằng tất cả quý vị quan khách đã để một ngày, một buổi rất là dài. Tôi muốn chấm dứt cái bài nói chuyện ngày hôm nay, và người phụ tá của chúng tôi là luật sư Trang Bùi sẽ nói lại phần nào cái bài đọc ngày hôm nay. Khẩn xin Thượng Đế Trời Phật luôn phù hộ độ trì, ban bình an cho tất cả chúng ta. Trân trọng kính chào quý đồng bào và quý vị God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming out here. I'm going to try to attempt to translate all that, but I don't think that I can. So I'm just going to read off what they've given me here. I'll make it quick. It's not as bad as the doctor here, so we'll be okay, all right? Again, good evening, and thank you very much for being here today to attend the presidential inauguration. It is a great honor for me to be among you for the gala. As you know, today, I, Prime Minister Minh QUANG, am also aware of the importance of this event in the nation's history. I take on the burden of more responsibility incumbent on me. I have to take on the supreme function as President of the Third Republic of Vietnam. In other words, it means that most important deeds must be achieved in this time. This decision came out from a long period of reflection. Instead, it was a decision of 3 generations of Vietnamese, seniors, middle-aged, and young men from the 90s. And the democratic outcome of the referendum starting since February 2017. Until now, the number of voters participating in the referendum came up to more than 4 million people voting for me as the President of the Third Republic of Vietnam. In fact, this number did not really reflect the Vietnam's people's opinion of all walks of life, but it's really expressed the popular sovereignty will against the repressive communist regime. By the decision of popular vote through democratic process, I can reassess that the PNGVN conducted by me is legitimate, de facto and legal de jure successor of the Republic of Vietnam. Therefore, first and foremost, I officially demand Beijing to unconditionally return the Vietnamese the sovereignty over the Parcel and Spratly Islands, which has been illegally taken over by force in 1974 and 1988. It is truly important to maintain the devotion and strategy to prevent the clash of powers in the region, the East Vietnam Sea or South China Sea, and to promote free international water trade routes in the Pacific Ocean. To effect such positive growth, I have other points to discuss, which are listed as so. The sovereignty of the people must be represented by freely elected democratic government. Free market ideas must be incorporated into the national culture that lift all citizens' economic future. The Third Republic, under my administration, intends to share the maritime oil resources with the people and support the free movement of trades in the waters of Vietnam. Also, the Third Republic affirms that all agreements entered into and so-called State of Socialist Republic of Vietnam and Vietnamese Communist Party are not valid. Our administration is very happy to support the United States Congress and government's peaceful roadmap towards bringing peace and unity to the world. One region after another and one strategy after another. We will gladly support such peaceful efforts openly if given the opportunity to discuss such strategies and vision at the meeting of other members of the United Nations. Let me assure you that government always want to work together with the United States of America and the freedom countries to build safer, more prosperous, and more democratic world. To this end, I also declared that the exploitation of crude oil in the Vietnam territorial waters by Beijing is also illegal as referred to international law. As a legal representative of the Vietnam people, I officially support the freedom of navigation operations of the U.S. Navy and East Vietnam South China Sea and firmly stand against the build-up of artificial islands by Beijing in Vietnam territorial sea waters and militarization of the East Vietnam Sea. On this solemn occasion, on behalf of the PNGVN, the Third Republic of Vietnam, we would like to address the most warm thanks to the U.S. administrations and the American people, as well as the people of the free world who has opened their hands wide a few decades ago to welcome Vietnam refugees who have until now actively contributed to the prosperity of the countries in which they have been resettled. Thanks to their generosity, the Vietnam diaspora and the following generation might be able to enjoy freedom and democracy throughout the civilized world. We particularly express our gratefulness to the U.S. administration for their strong support of our PNGVN over the past 30 years of activities in long struggle directed to eradicating the communist regime in Vietnam. In this inaugural event, my thoughts of gratefulness naturally go back to two late predecessors, President Ngo Dinh Diem of the First Republic and President Nguyen Van Thieu of the Second Republic of Vietnam. Both of them have heartedly devoted their lives during their successive governments with ceaseless efforts to prevent the South Vietnam from communist invasion. However, the goal masterminded by them were left unfulfilled because the tragic Vietnam War, above all, of the illegal occupation of South Vietnam in 1975 by the North Vietnamese regime. However, the Third Republic of Vietnam will advocate forgiveness and possible amnesty to those communists who decide to join us. All Vietnamese will enjoy freedom, democracy, and rule of law. Finally, I would like to address my sincere thanks to those who have participated in organizing this beautiful gala, and I wish you all enjoy the music and the good menu and the information that we have shared to you. God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. And thank you, Attorney General, for translating. At this time, I want to ask the hotel personnel to please serve dinner for the President first, and then for the rest of the guests present tonight. Thank you.
Và sau đây là bài diễn văn do ông đặc sứ Frank J. Herring. This is a time for the presidential inauguration address by PNGVN emissary Mr. Frank J. Herring.
My name is Frank J. Herring. I am the emissary of the Third Republic of Vietnam to the United States of America. Before I begin this evening, I would like to recognize some VIP guests over to my right. Joe and Lori, would you stand, please? And Delia, would you also stand? And Joy, would you also stand? These wonderful individuals are part of the prayer force of the Third Republic of Vietnam. Sitting at my table, Cindy Marcamali, would you please stand? She is a business associate of mine. Also, Mr. Steve Crummy, who flew out to Boston today to be with us. He is president of TRIGA and also executive board member of TCD.world. And of course, last but not least, my dear, dear wife, the ambassador's wife, Rhoda Don Melvin. On November 3rd, this government received a very significant communication from Washington, D.C. I'd like to read it to you in its entirety. On behalf of President Trump's Presidential Advisory Board, I want to congratulate you on the positive results of your nomination as third President of the Republic of Vietnam. I wish you always health and peace on a mission of leading the National Provisional Government of Vietnam to regain ancestral lands, end people suffering for the Vietnamese people, and the mission definitely would make America great again. Signed, James N. Mattis, Secretary of Defense, the United States of America. Mr. President, I would like to extend to you my heartiest congratulations as your emissary on you now being formally inaugurated as President of the Third Republic of Vietnam. Mr. President, fellow soldiers, supporters of the PNGVN, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we live in an age that now has a very popular political term known as fake news. President Abraham Lincoln, in an interview with the press, believe it or not, he had his press issues as well, during his presidency was asked this question: Mr. President, you are well known. You're an incredible orator, and a man known as one who can turn a phrase. Sir, when you are preparing a 10-minute speech, how long of a time do you spend in that preparation to deliver your public address? Mr. Lincoln, seeing that this question had great and incredible impact politically, thoughtfully stroked his beard and replied, 2 weeks. The reporter was astounded at the President's response, and seeing that his answer carried great weight and meaning, promptly replied, well, sir, that's very interesting. How long would it take you to prepare an hour-long public address? Mr. Lincoln smiled at the reporter and said, I'm ready now. We are now living in this country, and it could very well go down as the age of the embattlement of the presidency of the United States. There's not a day that goes by that we do not see the name Trump somewhere in our mass media. The man that we are honoring and elevating today, the now President Quang Minh Dao of the PNGVN, is just such a man. Here in the United States, we have had 26 U.S. presidents that have served in the military. There are, however, only 8 that actually experienced combat during that time. Presidents George Washington, Andrew Jackson, Zachary Taylor, Ulysses S. Grant, Theodore Roosevelt, Dwight D. Eisenhower, John F. Kennedy, and George Herbert Walker Bush. While the lives of these former leaders is now a part of the world's history, and they certainly helped to shape its present circumstances and destiny, none of these former presidents ever spent one day in conditions of imprisonment, tyranny, abuse, and psychological mind-altering encounters, and the knowledge of what it means to be behind barbed wire, fencing, and a resultant loss of freedom. President Dow is just such a man. At a young age, he set aside his choices and entered the service of his nation, and he rose to command a company in the Black Tiger Division of the ARVN. Upon the fall of Vietnam, he fell prey to the communists and their so-called re-education camps, who attempted over a period of 4 long years to change his mind about his convictions and his beliefs. I am happy to say they failed to accomplish this. He then ingeniously effected his escape from their clutches and escaped on a South China Sea boat that was occupied by well over 500 Vietnamese countrymen. They were eventually rescued by a German freighter and transported to Malaysia. During that rescue, it was discovered that someone was missing. He climbed back down that deck rope in the midst of the pitching South China Seas, located that woman, and got her on board that ship. To me, that is a man who has tremendous compassion. He came to the USA under the then Humanitarian Act, and he prospered once again, personally and in several businesses. During that time, he chose to return to Vietnam to attempt to get his fellow soldiers out of the hands of the communists that had been left behind. And in this effort, he was unable to do so. To me, it's not that he was unsuccessful in the attempt. It was his courage to undertake such a perilous journey in the first place. This man has fortitude, and he honors the sacrifices of his former troops under his command. He sacrificed great wealth to orchestrate the freedom of his fellow Vietnamese in 17 separate actions, and he spent his own funds to redeem them and give them their freedoms once again. In 1990, he accepted the nomination of his constituency to become the premier of the PNGVN, and in 1991, the Third Republic of Vietnam. To date, he has served in this capacity, and most recently, like President Trump, as an embattled president, the communists declared him to be, to all the world, a terrorist. In my opinion, that's hallelujah, thank you, and amen. I can think of many names that President Trump has been called, but one of them is not terrorist. But it is a name that President QUANG not only has been called, but he has endured. President QUANG, I salute you. You are a man of bravery, compassion, resolve, and tenacity. You, sir, are truly an embattled president. And I'm thankful to the Lord God above to be your emissary and to further your aims to free the Vietnamese people from the bondage of the communists and to restore the freedoms that they once enjoyed. During the Vietnam War, there were two major operations launched against the enemy. The first was Operation VIệt T, which translated means resolve to win. And another operation was launched simultaneously, known as Operation TRào NG, which translated means certain victory. These are the hallmarks of the PNGVN. The result of these two military moves was a stunning success. Together, we will accomplish these aims, Mr. President, so help us God. Congratulations, Mr. President. You are truly a man who has and continues, sir, to endure.
Chúng tôi xin tiếp tục chương trình qua phần phát biểu của quan khách và quý thành viên đại diện trong chính phủ quốc gia Việt Nam lâm thời. At this time, we would like to introduce speeches from special guests and PNGVN members. I would like to introduce first Mr. Leonard Staff, member of the Republican Party, PNGVN Financial Advisor.
Thank you very much. Thank you, President Dow. Congratulations on your election and your great success in the future. I'm sure today will mark an historic day for all the people in Vietnam. As a matter of fact, tonight marks an important event in the history of Vietnamese people. The formation of the Third Republic of Vietnam and the election of Honorable Quang now as the Republic's first president inspires all Vietnamese countrymen throughout the world that now is the opportunity for the fellow countrymen throughout the world for peace and freedom, prosperity, and the return of ancestral lands to the people of Vietnam. For many years, President Dow has labored to serve the people. After escaping from the communist and re-education camp and a long and dangerous journey across the sea, he landed in a refugee camp of displaced fellow Vietnamese citizens. President Dow immediately went to work to improve camp health and safety, food and water distribution, and to organize a new camp government for his people. Even today, the Third Republic of Vietnam supports refugee camps and displaced Vietnamese citizens wherever they are in the world and whenever they need some help. This, my friends, is great leadership. This is a lot of self-sacrifice. Self-sacrifice is this word. President Dow has given many years of his life to support the suffering citizens of Vietnam. He has formed a new government based on the same beliefs of the founders of the United States of America, who wrote our Constitution. Individual rights are God-given rights. Freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of assembly, and freedom from government power and unlawful search and seizure of their personal property, and a legal system to guarantee those rights. This is the vision of President Dow and the vision for the Third Republic of Vietnam. My friends, this is a vision all of us can appreciate and all of us can support. The people right now have the opportunity, and over 4 million votes have been counted for a referendum on a new government. This is accomplished with modern technology. You vote on your smartphone. to secure the citizens' privacy and their identities. The citizen has voted for a referendum of change and to oppose the communist government's oppression and tyranny of the people and their individual rights. President Dow also seeks the national election in the future. The citizens will also have an opportunity to vote for candidates that best represent their interests, and a free and a fair election in Vietnam will be guaranteed. President Dow has now been chosen as the great leader of this movement to move forward to support a transition in Vietnam. Freedom and democracy for the people, the return of ancestral lands, and the return of the rule of law for all the citizens in Vietnam. By God, our Father in heaven, bless President Dow, his government, his vision for the future, and the Third Republic of Vietnam with abundant blessings. And may God bless America on this important Veterans Day in our country. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lee and our staff. Our next speaker, I would like to introduce Mr. Paul Paulson, Congressman from the U.S. Representative, friend of Mr. Ed Royce. Mr. Anthony Training on deck.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests. My name is Paul Paulson, and for 10 years, Mr. Quang Minh Dow has been my neighbor. I am extremely honored to be invited to this very special occasion for his inauguration as President of the Third Republic of Vietnam. As neighbors, I know him as Dan Dow. He and his wife are wonderful people, always friendly to everyone in the neighborhood. I've learned a lot from Dan about the persecution of the Vietnamese people by the communist regime, the oppression, the unspeakable atrocities committed on a daily basis against an innocent people are immoral and unconscionable. I have learned all of this from my friend Dan. That's why when he asked me to assist him in writing a letter to the World Court in The Hague detailing these grievances, I was more than eager to contribute my journalistic skills. The message that Dan articulated in that letter was very clear and served notice to the communist regimes in both Vietnam and China that he represents an international contingent of freedom-loving Vietnamese patriots united with one ultimate goal in mind: return their native country to a national democracy with freedoms enjoyed by all. Like everyone else in this room, I welcome the day that Vietnam will once again hold free and fair elections and cast aside the tyranny and dictatorship of communist rule. Today, thank you. Excuse me. Today is November 11th, Veterans Day in America. I think it is only fitting and proper that we acknowledge and pay tribute to the brave Vietnamese and American soldiers who fought side by side for so many years in a gallant effort to curb the spread of a communist doctrine in Southeast Asia. To Dan Dow, I say thank you for being a good friend and a good neighbor. To President Quang Minh Dow, leader of the Provisional National Government of Vietnam, I also say thank you and keep up the noble fight for freedom. The road ahead is full of challenges, but with your leadership, I know there is hope. God bless Vietnam. God bless America.
Thank you very much, Mr. Paul Colson. Our next speaker, Mr. Anthony Tran, Advisor for President Trump. Welcome, sir.
Chào ngài Tổng thống Trào Quân. Tôi là Anthony Trần, thành viên trong ban cố vấn của Tổng thống Trump. Trước tiên, tôi kính chúc ngài sức khỏe dồi dào, an khang, viên mãn trong sứ mạng dẫn dắt chính phủ quốc gia Việt Nam lâm thời lấy lại đất tổ, chấm dứt mọi đau khổ cho dân tộc Việt Nam. Thưa ngài, hôm nay là một ngày trọng đại cho dân tộc Việt Nam, một ngày mà lịch sử Việt Nam sang trang với nhiều hứa hẹn tươi mới cho dân tộc. Thưa ngài, với tư cách là một thành viên trong ban cố vấn Tổng thống Trump, tôi hân hoan chúc mừng ngài, vị Tổng thống đệ tam Việt Nam Cộng Hòa. Chúng tôi nhiệt liệt ủng hộ phương hướng đạo đức công bình và bác ái của ngài. Bỏ cộng còn Việt, Việt không giết Việt. Để từ nay dân tộc Việt Nam từ trong nước ra tới hải ngoại có thể ngẩng mặt lên và tự hào rằng Việt Nam Minh Châu trời Đông có một vị lãnh đạo quốc gia tài đức, lớn lược, biết đau trong nỗi đau của dân và cùng khổ trong nỗi khổ của toàn dân. Dân tộc Việt Nam vô cùng cảm kích và biết ơn ngài. Riêng tôi, với một tấm lòng chân thành của một hậu duệ chiến sĩ Việt Nam Cộng Hòa, kính mong Thượng Đế phù hộ cho ngài và công việc trọng đại của ngài mỗi ngày thêm vững mạnh và thành công như lòng dân Việt Nam hằng mong đợi. Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, the message from Mr. Trump already said by some gentlemen before me. So, just the same means with them, I just would like to say, God bless Mr. President QUANG, always healthy and peaceful for the whole life. Thank you.
niềm tin dâng lên ngôi đời. Cất tiếng hát vang lên chào mừng năm mới, đón ước mơ vào đời. Hãy chúc cho nhau mọi điều may mắn, bao yêu thương tuyệt vời.
Đời ta cùng vang tiếng cười, niềm vui giờ đây thanh thang khắp nơi. Người ơi cùng nhau hát lên bài ca.
Oh baby, it's Christmas, and I'll give you my heart. Oh, it's Christmas, from the very first start. Oh baby, it's Christmas, wish you a happy new year. Oh, it's Christmas, wait for me to be here. Hark now, hear the angels sing, the King was born today.
And man will live forevermore because of Christmas Day.
For a moment the world goes aglow, all the bells ring out there with tears of joy and laughter. People shouting, let everyone know there is hope for all to find peace. Này một hài nhi vừa sinh ra đời, hãy đến mau kính thơ lạy người, cùng báo tin vui cho muôn người, chung lời thiên thần hát ca. Hark now, hear the angels sing, a King was born today, and man will live forevermore because of Christmas Day. Mary's boy child, Jesus Christ, was born on Christmas Day. Hark now, hear the angels sing, a King was born today, and man will live forevermore because of Christmas Day. For a moment the world goes aglow, all the bells ring out there were tears of joy and laughter. People shouting, let everyone know there is hope for all to find peace.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to laugh and sing a sleighing song tonight. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to laugh and sing a sleighing song tonight. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to laugh and sing a sleighing song tonight. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Học sinh là người tổ quốc mong cho mai sau. Học sinh ngày đời nhiệt huyết trên bao công lao, nước công quốc dân tranh đấu hy sinh cho nền độc lập.
quên thân mình, ngày ngày chung lo việc nước. Một lời thề vì dân chiến đấu, không ngại ngùng vì nước hy sinh cho muôn đời tổ quốc quang vinh. Việt Nam đào Minh quân, dân đang chờ ngày vui no ấm, xóa tan bao nỗi lầm than. Việt Nam đào Minh quân, xây cơ đồ hồn thiên sông núi, ánh dương lên soi sáng khắp địa cầu.